Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Comic Chronicle Podcast. I'm your guys' host, Dakota Morgan, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. Today on the show, we have a wonderful guest. He's a sweet man coming to us all the way from Greece, through Skype, of course. Kourtis is on the show today. This is also a very, very shortened version of his name, as we'll get into in the podcast. But, he's a great dude, an artist, and we talk about Primitve War. Hopefully you guys are Dinosaur fans, because if not, you may not like the episode. But if so, stay tuned. Because we talk about Primitve War, which is a book, kind of like one Moa's working on, is dinosaurs in the Vietnam War. It's a cool concept where we include fun sci-fi mixed with real war stuff and whatnot. It's a fun little concept. Obviously, I'm going to be a sucker for it because I have Kaiju Shield. Kind of like it. Primitve War, folks. We talk about it today. Designing characters and dinosaurs and putting character in dinosaurs and also in humans and whatnot. And being an artist and working on it and trying to put that into your work and such like that on the beans you're working on. And also, we talk about being a comic book artist in Greece, which, is interesting to say the least. So yeah, this is a really fun episode. If you're an artist, you're really going to love it because, man, it is chock full of some really, how do I put this? Really, really, really good things to take into consideration when being an artist, especially a comic book artist, to say the least here. So yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you want more free episodes of interviews, talk show segments, all that sort of jazz, for free every Monday, mind you, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or comicchronicle.podbean.com. And if you guys want to stay in touch, you guys can follow me on social media at DakotaMorgan3 on Twitter or on Instagram at Dakota_Morgan97. Hopefully you guys are staying safe and staying healthy out there and wash your hands, social distance, wear your fucking mask for one. And all that sort of jazz like that, and in general, staying safe. It's a weird, crazy world we're living in right about now, even crazier than usual. Okay, more crazier than it's been in the past couple decades. So definitely, everyone, stay safe out there and stay healthy. But I also have to say, if you guys want any merchandise for the show, the Comic Chronicle Podcast is on as well, Redbubble, and there's going to be a ad in there talking all about it and such. But just want to say it again, folks, if you want any merchandise with all sorts of cool designs for retro, comic book, really a lot of stuff, to say the least here. Masks included. You can get a mask, baggage, cups, all sorts of jazz like that. Their link will be in the show notes below for you guys for the Redbubble store. And without further ado, instead of me rambling on anymore in this intro, let us get into my talk with Babisu. Possibly. I think we're okay. Yes. Now, I like to do the intro after we do the show and whatnot too, but I'm a man of class. And Babisu, because you know what? If that's how it's pronounced, I'm going to pronounce it right. Babisu, good man, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, okay. It's my first time that I do an interview like this, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I have done in Greek podcasts, but not in American ones. So yeah.
I know we're here to talk about the Primitve War comic a little bit in Primitve War, but you've opened up a can of worms, Babisu. Greek podcasts.
Yes.
Now, is podcast big in Greece? Because I know in other countries they are. So are podcasts big, or is it like so-so? Because I'm so curious.
Yeah, look, the thing about Greece, yes, it's a big talk actually. The thing about Greece is that all the things that come out in US and in the rest of the world, they come a bit later in Greece. So the thing about podcasts and YouTubers and all this kind of stuff, we can say that it started becoming a thing from 2017 to 2018. So you see now many podcasts channels be like the podcast that you guys do in the US, because people are learning more about that. They're trying more stuff, which is good. But yeah, even comics came later in Greece. We didn't have comic shops when I was actually 2 years old, for example. That was 28 years before. 28 years ago. So we didn't have comic shops. We may had 1 or something in Athens. I live in Athens, by the way.
Oh,
Yes, so the things are coming later in Greece. But yeah, it's in a good it's in a good level at the
good,
moment.
good.
Yes.
I mean, well, that's pretty common though. And the listeners who are inside of America, believe it or not, things take more time. They're not as fast in other. I've trying to think. I cannot think of the country. Excuse me. I've had people on from all across the world on the show, and like we mentioned before recording, and it's actually more common with that of like what's going on with you with comics and podcasts stuff like that. Like it takes a little while to catch on. It's
Mhm.
actually really, really, really common in Europe, especially that things take more time. Like meanwhile, we've had something for in the US, we'd have something like 5, 6 years. It's been popular. Then now it just went boom. It's catching on. It's really I love that sort of stuff. But then again, I'm a scientist dude and historian, so what can I say? I fucking love it. I really do, and I think it's cool. And at least you guys are getting stuff and whatnot too. And the time delay is always interesting. People don't often take it into consideration, but hey,
Yeah, sure. Look, it's the same thing about comic artists here in Greece.
yeah,
We are very few.
it's
We're
true.
actually something like the number I could say for. I mean about artists that they don't just. I don't want to hear to sound a bit um, strange, but that they work in American companies like Marvel, DC, Zenescope, IDW.
Yeah.
We are very few. We're like 8 people that I know.
Jesus Christ.
uh, but
Wow.
that's the thing is that we now have 2 big Comic Cons that are for actually with the whole pandemic. We would have the 5th one actually in Athens. I think the 4th one or the 5th one. I think the 5th one that would be. So for 5 years now, we are having um, a big Comic Con, a real Comic Con, like
Hmm.
in US here in Greece. So everything comes as much what I said before is like everything is new for Greece right now. Even I have created my own company here so that I can do my job legally in Greece, but they don't know what comics are. The
Mm.
tax offices and the government doesn't know what comics is. They don't know that this is a job.
Really?
So imagine that for the government, for the tax offices, I am just a graphic designer. Yeah,
I
so
mean, yeah,
yeah,
but
they
no.
don't know that. They don't know that. There is no specific code for the tax office so that it says that you are a comic creator and you have your own company for that.
Mm.
Yes, things, but
It's
as I said, things are they learn. People
yeah.
learn, which is good.
Oh, you
So
have to. There's no way in living hell. I mean, I think if you don't know what comic books are at this point because of movies, TV shows, pop culture in general, if you don't know comic books, you got to be that Amazon tribe that's in South America that's hiding in the jungles at this point because it's really tough not to learn about them eventually. It's really tough.
yeah. So imagine that when I was 14 and I was saying to my grandfather and some of his friends that I'm gonna be a comic artist. What is that? They were telling me, what is that? Are you gonna draw Mickey Mouse? No, I'm gonna draw Spider-Man. Oh, you mean Mickey Mouse?
Yeah,
They
oh
think
Mickey.
they think that yes, they think that they were thinking that that's how they call comics. They think that it's just this cartoony thing that kids
Mm.
watch, you know. They
Oh,
don't know
that was everybody though, Bobbis. That was you gotta think about it too. Like that was everybody even here in America for a long time.
that.
Because
Yeah, but for how long? How many years before? You mean?
I would say it changed only maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was
Oh,
part of
I
the
didn't
last
know that.
generation, dude. Oh no, yeah. It was comics even in the 2000s, there was still you were getting a lot of flack. Not as much as the 90s and the
Okay.
80s and stuff like that, but even in the 2000s, I remember in high school, it was my younger years in high school and then middle school and such like that too. They're like, "You're a comics fan?" What? And it was that whole thing with that, like people shitting on you, girls being like, "What?" And that whole thing with that. I remember then they came out with an Avengers T-shirt, and it was before the movie came out or the movie was going to be coming out or something like that. And then all of a sudden, people were like, "Oh, he's wearing a shirt, make fun of the fucker." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever the hell." And I remember too, once Avengers came out and like the DC movies, well, Man of Steel and all them, and well, Avenger, Iron Man, and all that jazz. Once those movies started coming out, then those people quieted down. So once the Marvel
Yeah.
movies started with Iron Man, then they all shut up. But before that, man, it was to be a kid and do it was still kind of rough. So I don't know how people made it work. Oh yeah, no, it's still that for a while.
Yeah, in my childhood, I don't remember though kids to. There was the term like when you say a nerd or a geek, but it wasn't. Nobody was making fun of you because you liked Hulk or you were reading Spider-Man. I don't remember that. We didn't have any kids talking to other kids for this stuff like that or something, making fun of them. But a knowledge about the history of comics and what the comics are. Greece is actually, let's say, because of the cinemas, it has become bigger here too. So imagine that there is no one here. Me and some other artists that I know, Greek artists, have started doing some lessons to kids, and this helps a lot for kids to understand that, hey guys, this is a job that you can do later in your life. And we always say that there is also video games. There are also companies like DreamWorks, Disney, that you may want to do animation because they don't know so much of that stuff even now. And some universities have added lessons for that, but they don't have yet the, let's say, the level that the outside countries have, teaching that kind of a level. For example, you see on Facebook some advertisements about master classes that they bring directors to teach how to direct a movie. We don't have this kind of stuff here. They don't do that. They don't have yet the level of knowledge. There are lots of people that they leave Greece for a while to do some classes, and then they come back, and this brings the knowledge here. So, yeah.
You know what though? That's still I think in general though, at least it's getting there in a sense. Because it's not like oh no, we're never gonna learn it. Like no, people are learning stuff, and I think as much as I didn't really want to mention it, like with COVID and everything like that at the moment here, it really adds new perspective on things. And people stuck at fucking home. I don't know how bad it was in Greece. I don't ever hear about it in America because America, we're all screwed up over here in the United States. But AKA Babisu send me a plane ticket because I want to move. But I need to get out of here. But the thing with that is, people are taking a look around. They're learning more stuff. People are at home, surfing the internet all the time, watching more TV, movies, and stuff like that too. So who knows the new state of Greece in here in a little bit? I don't know. So maybe it will change forever. And you know what, Babis, I've been sitting here and thinking, you know what? We have not talked. We've been talking for about 11 minutes so far, and we have not yet talked about Primitve war.
Oh yeah, and that was actually the reason. For sure. So if you wanna,
we were diving deep though, man. That was good talk. That was a good talk. I want to tell you that was a good talk because people often don't have different. Like I mentioned, we don't often get perspective unless you're London or Britain or Canada or Mexico or Japan or China. We don't often hear about you guys like any other countries in the news, sadly, because they don't really care. But I do, and so it's good to hear like some of the stuff going on there with like pop culture and stuff. Hey folks, Dakota here with a little bit of an ad break, but this is one you definitely want to listen to if you guys are a comic fan, which you are if you're listening to the show. You guys like comics and you like reading them in person. Let me tell you, go to Drawn the Comics in Glendale, Arizona. This is not just a hype thing for this ad. Let me tell you, I've been going there for years. I've had Cam Brown on the show all the time. Such a good guy. It's such a good community. Everyone who works there, they know you. You get your box number. You get your thing. You get all you need to do there. You get your collectible toys, car, whatever it may be. Comics, it's all there for you guys. That's Drawn the Comics in Glendale, Arizona. Here's the address. 5801 West Glendale Avenue, Glendale, Arizona, in downtown Glendale. And if you guys want to visit them, you can visit them, drawntocomics.com, or find them on social media, and the number is 623-847-9090 to give them a call. Definitely, guys, I love going to the store. And this is not a fucking lie. I love going. It's so amazing. Thanks, everyone, and hopefully you guys check them out if you're in Arizona or maybe passing through. Remember, guys, Drawn the Comics. Go check it out for your books. Reading books in person is so much better than digital. But I love digital too, so it's a little bit of a toss-up. Support brick-and-mortar companies. We definitely need you to. Thanks, everyone. And now, without further ado, I'm going to take it back to future me.
Can you repeat that a bit? Because I think I've lost something there.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
No,
I was saying, like, it's interesting. Damn you, Skype. It's interesting to hear about, because we don't often hear about what other countries are up to or pop culture-wise and stuff like that, unless it's like certain ones, like China, Japan, Mexico, all that sort of jazz, or Britain. So it's nice to hear like what's going on culture-wise with like nerdom and all that other jazz, comics and film and stuff like that. It's slowly getting to what we have here, so I kind of enjoy that. It's nice to hear that.
Yeah, and since we have to talk about Primitve War, I gotta tell you, even for dinosaurs here in Greece.
Oh, fuck yeah. Hold on, before we get any further, dude, with dinosaurs, I have to let you know, like, I've worked in paleontology for a couple years, actually.
Really?
So,
that's great.
I've done volunteer work. Shit, I got fossils in my studio right now at home.
Really? Yeah. I would love to see some photos from that. Man.
I will send them.
Well, I haven't seen here in Greece if we have any places, areas, locations, let's say, that they found any dinosaurs, any dinosaur skeletons. I have heard nothing about dinosaur skeletons in Greece. We don't have museums that having, skeletons. But I don't know, even Jurassic Park made when it came out, the first movie, it did just an impact about dinosaurs in Greece, but not that big not a big impact as it did in US, for example, or other countries again. There was, I don't know if you remember, and I'm not gonna talk about it much, so we hit to Primitve War, but I don't know if you remember, in 1995 there was a magazine series called Dinosaurs. I think it was in US, it was from Atlas Edition.
I believe, vaguely remember.
With the glasses, with the 3D glasses, that they had the shape of the dinosaur.
Yeah, so, I was born after that, but I remember getting a couple of those when I was a kid.
Okay, so I was 5 years old actually, I think, when that came out. So and that came out from the Agostini here in Greece because it was the year of Jurassic Park in Greece.
Oh.
So they tried to hit, the specific year. And after that, after the Jurassic Park movies, actually, I think after the second one, that series disappeared. They stopped it, and because nobody was buying, they again, here in Greece, there is no so much love about dinosaurs for most people. There are very few that they really liked dinosaurs. They loved it, but I haven't heard about any Greek paleontologists here in Greece that have found a skeleton here in Greece, for example. So yeah,
I was given a Google, by the way. Because my knowledge, when I did all the volunteer work at the lab, my knowledge is a little bit scarce and some stuff like that. And I gave a Google, and I actually, did not find any at the moment. You're doing a quick Google. You're right. But I think one, pop culture. So Jurassic Park does help, but I think at that point, Babis, you just gotta fund a museum, dude. Like, you just gotta help get the money together for a museum or something like that, because that inspires. Well, once things calm down a little bit, because that can help to inspire a lot of people that way to, because I mean, they always do though. Once you get a museum open up with fossils in it and ancient human stuff whatnot, and in Greece there's a lot. So, but that might be why. That might be why though. That might be not. That might be why you don't find as much dinosaurs in that area, because of like how everything is, and with
Yeah,
just
probably.
geology, and then well, it's mostly like ancient human stuff in there that people are taking a look at. So
Mm.
I'd rather have the dinosaurs, because ancient man kind of sucked. Like, it kind of was a little bit cruel. So just a little bit. But yeah, man. But so Primitive War,
Mm.
you guys have put together something really, really cool. And I want to let people know, like, hey, the comic is coming. There's a comic book tied in with this. That
Yes.
eventually, because people be like, why are you guys talking? There is a comic. Fair warning. Now, what can you tell people about Primitive War, good man? Because I don't want to butcher it. I still have to read the book, but
Uh,
I want to read the book, but I know a bit about it. What can you tell people?
well, the first thing that I have to say is that Ethan has done an amazing job. He has written an amazing book, and I'm saying that because you can tell how much he loves dinosaurs, and
Yeah.
that's the reason. And the funny part is that I met Ethan through internet again. We haven't met yet face to face. I hope so in the future.
Yeah.
Uh, we met on the Prehistoric Times magazine group, I think, and we were talking, and he told me that he was writing a book, and I was like, I want to read that, and I bought it immediately from Amazon. I'm a very slow reader, by the way.
Oh,
I
fair.
prefer audiobooks,
Mm,
but I gave it a try, and I really loved you can tell how much love about dinosaur there is in that book, and that is what attract my attention,
mm.
and the love that I also have about dinosaurs. Um, Ethan has done a very. I can say what I can say about this is that the story is what I would like to see in a movie after
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, let's say, because Jurassic Park is always the beginning of all uh, the movie that actually inspired most of the people. Okay,
It's true.
uh, I'm not talking. Okay, if we go back in the years, Ray Harryhausen, okay, 1 million years BC. Okay, it's a masterpiece. But I have to say that the years of Jurassic Park was I inspired, and I think it built lots of love and generations after that. It built many generations with dinosaurs. So yeah, so there was a connection, and it's just a story that I would love to see it in the movies. And we were talking, and I was like, yes, I'm working with I'm doing comics, and he was open to do a comic adaptation. We started with the idea of making some short stories of from the dispatches books that he's gonna publish. Um, and It was, I think, 2018 that we
Mm.
started. 2018. But with work and the pressure that I had, we were a bit of going very slow. And then we talked again. We started to build it up. See, okay, why don't we do the book? Why don't we try to find a publisher, make a pitch, and find a publisher, or
Hmm.
have a plan B of a Kickstarter? And we said, okay, let's do it. Let's build a team. Let's make it real.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's um, that's how it began.
Oh, I like it, dude. I really, really like it. And it is from the artwork that I've seen and the concept. I mean, the concept is dinosaurs in Vietnam, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. Yes,
And
it's.
what year does it take place in?
I think it's in the year of the Vietnam War.
That's what I okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yes, yes,
That's
it's
awesome.
it's the year of the Vietnam War,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's gonna be any spoilers or something. He has done any actually in the description of the book, people can tell how he brings dinosaurs, which it's an amazing. I think that it is an amazing way to bring back dinosaurs for people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely is. Like I've got a. It's actually really funny when I saw Primitive War on Instagram and I saw the artwork. I was like, this is beautiful. It was so beautiful for the comic wise. I mean, so definitely you guys have worked really fucking hard on this. Both of you guys you can see the work in a detail. I mean, obviously, especially because you're the artist. I
Thank
mean,
you,
you
thank
can
you.
see it, yeah, of course, and like you can see a lot of stuff on there. And you guys created something really, really cool. I think, um, really, really,
Well,
really some
I don't know
cool.
if I don't know if you remember. There was IDW was, and I think Tops was Top Cow, not Tops, was publishing Jurassic Park comics back in the
No, it
days.
was Tops. It was Tops.
Tops, yes.
Yeah, it
So
was.
it
It
was
was.
Tops,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. So I have one Jurassic Park comic, The Lost World, the second movie actually, a movie adaptation, a comic adaptation of the movie from I think it was IDW that published that one. So it's been a while since we have seen a dinosaur um, comic book. There was actually The Age of Reptiles from Delgado,
Yes, there's a.
but it's been a while to see um, a real, let's say, human dinosaurs comic.
It's
Um,
true, and I actually have one out now. It's out digitally on like social media platforms and stuff like that. Soon, website and in print. I actually have one too out now, and I thought it was kind of funny. And Ethan mentioned it like, "Hey, we got a dinosaur book together," and also one of my books is giant monsters in the Vietnam War. So I'm like, you know what?
oh yeah,
This is pretty cool. Like, this is awesome. Like, in I understand. I will vouch 100% and say that yeah, people always want more dinosaur comics, and
mhm,
because when the first issue came out, and I've been putting out artwork from it and stuff like that, people, it's I mean because it appeals to our childhood, you know, like as kids, you never really grow out of it. You say you do, but in all honesty, though, as a human being, you never really grow out of dinosaurs and prehistoric animals. You really don't.
yeah.
Hey guys and gals, Dakota here with a quick little ad break for you. So folks, we always know the classic saying, wear your freak flag high. Now you can, because the Comic Chronicle Podcast now has its own little merch line on Redbubble. That's right folks, we have our own little merch line with some fun little logos. Of course, our Man of Steel-esque logo for the Comic Chronicle Podcast you can get on mugs, t-shirts, sweaters, posters, prints, all sorts of stuff like that on there. And of course, we sell some exclusives that you may be interested in this new world era that we live in. One of those designs we feature is the little branding called Vigilante in Training. Let people know when you wear your mask, or if you want to get a sticker version of the little iconic logo there, rough dick looking stamp on there on your mask that's blue, a little dark blue, Vigilante in Training. Or if you want, we have in a word bubble on there, trying to best to explain this on a podcast, and a word bubble, make comics, not war. Get that on t-shirts, sweaters, posters, a mask, buttons, phone cases, all sorts of stuff like that on there. And of course, lastly, we have Blockbuster Kid. Take on the Blockbuster logo. You know, a lot of us, like myself, we grew up with Blockbuster. Or, you know, you're a semi-medium age adult and you like Blockbuster too. You want to support the past and keep a little bit of retro on there. You can do that too. Get your t-shirts, masks, buttons, stickers with Blockbuster Kid written on there too. You can check out the store for the Comic Chronicle Podcast on Redbubble. And an easier way to do so is you can click the link in the show notes below. And that will help you guys and take you straight down to it. Go to Explore Designs and see what all the fun stuff we have for you guys. See the logos for yourself and support the podcast all in the same sense. I give you guys stuff for free, which is the podcast, and now we give you some merch. Wear that freak flag high, folks. So thanks for tuning into this episode. And without further ado, let's take it back to Dakota from the past. And to be able to have in a comic reader, to be able to read them, whether online or in your hands, one of the two with a book or whatever, but to be able to have that, I think, is combining two worlds that you don't often see. So I think it's really, really cool. I really enjoy it. That's why for SGGS Comics, when I'm working for them, you know, shout out to them. we
Yeah.
were talking about it, and they're like, "Hey, you got an idea for a book?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I got a few. You know, oh, here's a dinosaur book." And I said, "Yeah, all right, here we go." And yeah,
Mm.
it's something really cool, and I like your guys' designs, by the way, that you've done that you've brought to life. I think those are really good because you really did. You do a lot of research when doing the
Well,
dinosaur design?
actually, the dinosaur designs were from Raf Lomotan, the
Oh,
another artist that is working with Ethan, and Neil McHon. They were working with Ethan before Ethan and I started to work together. So they had done their Neil. Most of it has done the designs of the creatures of the
mhm,
animals. Um, they do a lot of brainstorming together.
mhm.
And we actually, there is a primitive war team, a general, let's say, primitive war team that the artists, all the artists can tell their opinions and how can the animals be depicted. And
That's cool.
of course, with the guidance of Ethan, okay?
Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that okay, sometimes because media from media differs, there are gonna be some changes, a few. Um, so, for example, let's say a pack in the comics, a pack of Utahraptors, they're gonna be green because the basic design of the Utahraptors is to be a greenish colors. They have greenish colors, but
Mhm.
since all the animals, and that's the reason. What I think that Primitive War surpasses most of the dinosaur books is that uh, it has created character in dinosaurs, and
Yeah, yeah.
you see, we have dinosaurs that they don't speak, but like in other kind of movies, like Dino Riders or something
Oh,
else, but
yeah, yeah.
they don't speak. They don't have a voice like that. They are animals, but you can tell that they have a specific character from some characteristics on their body shapes, and actually you can for example, you can understand who is Cyclops and who is Sobek and Xipetotek. I don't know if I pronounce it well, the last one. um, but that's what I'm trying to do in comics too. I'm trying to, okay, we have the basic designs of the animals, but when you have a pack of Utahraptors, you have to understand who is who. So if all the pack is a greenish color, we have to see that somebody, let's say a Utahraptor will be a bluish greenish color, but the other will be a yellowish greenish color. But the
Mm.
basic color is green. So, and maybe let's say the upper head will have a different shape of stripes.
Mhm.
Maybe the jaw will be a bit more inside, and it may be thinner, or some scars on the arm, so that you can understand that you just don't have a mass of of um, of
Green.
animals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you have a pack. You have a group with characters, so you don't have to just do with animals here. You have to do with characters,
Bobby's,
even though they're dinosaurs.
you
That's
cannot hear me or not see me. You can hear me, duh, but you cannot see my face because we're not doing a webcam. I'm smiling like a fucking idiot over here because that is what you want to hear. That is what a fan wants to hear. That you bring character. Like each one of these are a living being. Each one has different. I mean, shit. People like, oh, they were all the same and whatnot. Bitches, I worked at a zoo for 4 years. I
mhm.
want to tell you, each animal has a different characteristic. I saw herds of animals, or packs, or flocks, all those. Even fucking lizards. Each one has
Yeah,
different characteristics, whether it's color and also personality and stuff. Also, though, too, I do have to mention I think it's Cyclops is the Utah Raptor with a knife in one of its eyes.
yes, it's with a
That's the
Kamar
coolest
knife. Yes.
shit, dude. That's the coolest shit I've ever seen. That's
Well,
awesome.
that's most of that. And what I say is that that's the reason Primitive War is I gotta say it. It's one of the most amazing stories with dinosaurs. Ethan has done an amazing reality for us, for the dino lovers mostly.
Yeah.
If not for all the people, all the readers, just for the dino lovers, he has created an amazing reality.
Yeah.
Because in our minds, it's a reality, okay? We have to
Oh
admit
yeah,
that.
it always is. Oh, it always is.
Yes,
Like I write 7 comic books, dude. Let me tell you, you're always in your
yes,
reality with those.
yes. So,
Man, I love
uh,
it. Do you have though? I'm curious because especially when I talk to my artist on my comics and whatnot, he always has his favorites that he likes to work on and whatnot. Do you have a favorite character or like human too? I mean, we got to include the humans because they're a big part of the story.
yes.
Human, do you have a favorite human character and a favorite dinosaur character
Uh,
that you love
it's a
to
bit,
work on? Yeah.
this one is a bit tricky. About characters in comics in general. I When I work, I try to become the character. I try to understand the philosophy of the writer that he wrote the story and how
Mm.
he created the character. Because the creator, let's say, you're like a very small god. You create a world, you know.
Mm.
And when you give the first breath to that character, it's very important. And that's what I'm trying to understand when I read Ethan's story. I try to understand Logan. I try to understand Ryan, Leon, and everyone else. And also, as a kid, I was mimicking dinosaurs too. I was a nerd. Okay, I still am.
Right.
Uh,
Here we
so
all are here. It's fine.
I try to understand uh, Cyclops. I try to understand how
Mm.
Cyclops would react if he saw a soldier with a weapon. Well, a dinosaur doesn't know what a weapon is, but he understands. He has an instinct that somebody is going to kill him. Okay, so he has to eat. He has to survive. So, but probably, let's say, a dinosaur or an animal in general would feel a bit different if he had an enemy in front of him that would be a human or a lion or an elephant. So the
Mm.
instinct is the same, but the reactions may be different.
Mm. That's
So
true.
when I have to draw a dinosaur in a panel, I don't want to draw okay, just a big lizard that it has an open jaw and okay, so we have to understand that we have to do with a T-Rex that he's a father, or a Utahraptor that he's not just a Utahraptor from the pack, he's the alpha of the
Mm.
pack. So how does that Utahraptor will be depicted in his actions now, not just the colors, in his actions, you know,
Mm.
while he's gonna attack a human being.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to actually though answer your question, one of my favorite characters is Ryan. Human characters. It's Ryan, and about dinosaurs, this is difficult with dinosaurs. Um, I would say um, I am a very fan about T-Rex. I am a very fan.
Hmm.
Uh, but in Primitive War, I really love Cyclops.
How can you
I,
not? I mean, I haven't read anything about him, but how can you not? I like. There's just. I gotta say first before we move on though is one you use the right way with how you're doing characters. By the way, that's the best way to fucking do it as an artist. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love hearing that you've done that with the characters and the dinosaurs and whatnot, especially. But two, Cyclops. I can't wait to read the book and even the comics too because he. Like I said before, how can you not love like a big, mean Utah raptor with a giant jungle knife sticking out? I mean, like
yeah.
there's something about that where you're like that's something I want to see. Like I don't want to see it in person in reality because I'd be terrified and probably die. But I
Yes.
would love to see it. It's like love to see more artwork of that.
Well, in Jurassic Park, they did a bit of the, actually with the colors, they did some change of Blue, Delta, you can understand that
Oh yeah, it's true.
these
Yeah.
dinosaurs were different characters, but I think okay, it's Jurassic World, it's not Jurassic Park, but you cannot feel the connection with those characters. So there are still animals, just animals in Jurassic World. They don't build it up like they did in. Uh, um, I was listening to some channels in YouTube, and they were talking about how Jurassic Park did a very good job of how they will beating you in your heart the movie, the story, and the
Mhm.
characters. And this is what I see that Ethan has done in the story, but he has improved that in the dinosaur characters too. And this is what I suggest, and I really want to say to all people, read it. And now it's gonna be inaudible. You have to listen to it.
Mm.
Wayne has an amazing voice too about this story. Um, so it has so much potentials as a story. And now that Ethan has finished the Primitive War 2, uh, the world is expanding, and more dinosaurs are and more dinosaur species are gonna be in the stories. And again, it's not just dinosaurs, it's not just animals, it's characters,
Yeah.
and that's the amazing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it makes you want to read more. It makes you want to
yeah,
see
yeah.
more. It makes you actually bond and whatnot. I mean, you nailed it right on the head. You bond with these. When you have
Yeah.
character, you bond way more. I mean, trust me, we do love seeing animals just go to town and tear people apart. We love seeing that. But then it only goes so far, I think, in comics, in books, in movies, television. It only ever goes so far, dude. It really, really does. But when you have a character added to animals and hopefully people, you really it makes you want more of it. So while love seeing them tear people apart and eat them and such, but when the character and parts involved, you want to see
Yeah.
way, 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 way more than you would. And I love that. I love that to a passion. I really do. I gotta order that book. But I know you guys are working behind the scenes on the comic and such like that. And
Mhm.
it's not for sale yet, if I remember correctly, because there's a lot of things in the works. I don't know what Ethan wants us to say and what not to say. So there's a lot of things in the works and whatnot too. But at least we can tell. As far as I know, maybe you have different things, but as far as I know, we can tell people is it will be coming. It's coming soon. There's artwork
Mm.
on Instagram. There's the book right now you can read. But I don't know about release dates and whatnot unless you know something I don't. There's I talked to Ethan for a little bit for the other day, but as far as I know, there's nothing going. The comics will be coming out, but so far as nothing can say too much about it.
Well,
Comic book wise.
yes, comic wise, we're not so much. We're not in secrecy. We always post stuff, and what I have said to people that they're asking, when is gonna the graphic novel is gonna be out? I say that we are still working on our pitch, and by the end of summer, as I said, by the end of summer, September, we are gonna have finished with the pitch, and we will send it to publishers like Image Comics, for example, um, and we also have our plan B for Kickstarter. Um, so I we don't have a specific release date because if we go with a publisher, if they accepted it, we have to follow the way that the publisher will say the release dates of the issues. But if we go with the Kickstarter, probably it's gonna be like volumes, graphic novels, mini graphic novels that are gonna be a bigger thing for the collection.
Mm.
Yeah, because the books, that's the amazing thing about Ethan and his books is that uh, it's a big thing. You can tell that it's a four. I think how many pages is it? I think it's 400 or more. Uh,
Jesus.
that doesn't mean that it's gonna be 400 comic pages. A book page may be 4 to 5 pages in comics, or maybe one. You never know. We have to, if the pitch goes well, then we have lots of work to do of how to format it in a comic, to make the shape as a comic, to make it like that. So there are gonna be some additions. I think he has said that on Facebook. I hope that he has said that we're gonna add some flashbacks and more details to some Ryan's flashbacks, I think, and other characters that they
Yeah,
have some flashbacks. So it's
there
gonna
has
be
been
bigger.
there has been flashback scenes posted on
Yeah.
Instagram. So I have
Yes.
seen those, and it looks like Nazis and stuff like that too, and a T-Rex coming out of it looks like a portal. I said I still
Yeah.
have to read the book, but yeah, like that. So that so that has been announced. So you're good. So, I like that, dude. I really like that. That's true. You guys have not been in the secrecy and stuff like that. I just didn't want to. I know all about NDAs and trying to keep things somewhat quiet, and just in case if you have to, so you don't get in trouble and such. But it's true. You guys have been really open with the public and fans and such like that about it. But I mean, shit, for people that are listening right now that want to read the book beforehand, you guys can pick Primitive War up on Amazon, I believe, right now.
Yes, it's on Amazon. Yes.
Yeah. Which power to Ethan, man, because I got a couple things in the works, so I'm gonna have to ask him how he did it, because I gotta get it up on there. But yeah, and then Babis, I don't want to take too much of your time today because it's getting kind of late. I know, especially where you're at. But good man, I want to say is thank you for coming on to the show. This has been an absolute blast having you on.
It was amazing being here, and thank you for the welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. You know what? I don't often get to geek out about characters and dinosaurs, so this is really fun.
Well, the last thing that I have to say is that we don't show much stuff, but Maya is the colorist, Maya Opacic, I think, if I pronounce it well. She's an amazing colorist, and she's doing an amazing job with the animals and with the whole pages.
It's true.
We're very excited, and of course, I have to thank the support that we see about this is before we have our pitch ready. Actually, it's pretty exciting, and I want to say to everyone that is listening, thank you for that. We love you, everyone, for your support. Thank you so much. So yeah.
Sweet, man. Where can people follow you on social media, on Instagram and such like that?
Yes, I have an Instagram. It's Babisu Kourtis, and also on Facebook again. Babisu Kourtis is not. And also I have a Twitter, but I don't use it that much.
Fair.
But yeah, mostly it's Facebook and Instagram.
Nice.
There.
All right. I mean, and it works. You're an artist, that you want to use the stuff that helps promote your art. That's it. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you, good man, again for coming on the show. And there's no better way to end it than that. But do you have any other final words for people out there that are listening?
Well, I have to say, everyone, to be careful, stay healthy. Yes. And safe. Please do that, please.
Yeah, please. We want the world to get out of the apocalypse, please.
Yes, we have to be careful because we have to stay focusing on creativity, and that's the only way to pass all this thing that is happening. And be creative, be happy, take care of yourself. And if you want to support also Primitve War, do it. I'm just joking here. Okay, so
no, it's all good. I mean, shit. Follow Primitve War to stay tuned, and if donate to Kickstarter if we have to do it. Stay tuned. Yeah. No, don't help. You can promote. It's all good. We do that shit here. It's fine.
Well, it's yeah, that's the thing. So stay safe, guys. I mean, yeah, that's the most important thing. We have to stay safe and help each other. That's the most important.
Brother, you can't get any better than that. Well, with that, thanks everyone for tuning in and listening. Make sure you guys follow Babis on Instagram. Follow Primitve War. Buy the Primitve War book, and or if you want to avoid spoilers, wait for the comic. But you know what, guys? Thanks for tuning in. And you know what? There's no better way to end it here. Stay classy, my fellow dino nerds.